Good morning, everybody. It's 11 minutes past 8 o'clock right now, and time for Party Scoopers. It is one scoop today, and the breaking news that we have for you here this morning, Craig's got a new phone.
I do.
He's got
He
the
went
11
all
Pro Max.
out.
Yeah, this is really cool. So, let's see what you think about that.
I think my wife has cell phone envy a little bit.
I'm sure they
I
do.
was up before her.
Lou, you have it from Lou here,
Oh, no
obviously.
question
And then
about it.
this
she's
morning.
like, oh, of course you had to get the she's
big
like, you
one.
don't even take pictures. And I'm
That's
like, well, I
okay.
will now.
I asked him,
Right?
what stories did you eat? And he's, I got the one in the middle. Because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So when in
But
doubt,
see, he has
go
this-
down the middle, right?
He has this phone now, so we can keep an eye on what's happening in the world of
I can.
politics. Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
It's funny how technology changes what you can do as an observer of politics. And so I actually love to have my phone for political purposes. So if I'm at a political event, I love to tweet and, take photos and
Just
share them
stay on top
online.
of it,
And so, that's kind of nice. The new iPhone has this great feature where you can get a broader shot.
So you can see
it's
the whole
fantastic.
crowd. You
Yeah.
can see the whole crowd. That's
And
the whole
that
idea.
is my complaint. If you're out there taking photos of political events, don't just take a picture of the stage. I want to see the crowd size.
Because that puts everything in perspective.
It puts it all into perspective. They
Yeah.
say, oh, so-and-so had a great event. I don't care if it's a huge event, like the Polk County Steak Fry where they had 11,000 people. I want to see the crowd.
Yeah.
And on the same day, you had Governor Reynolds had her
Right,
event.
she did.
What's the crowd size? I mean, there was no pictures of it.
To be honest with you, that's one of the first
a good
questions
point.
people ask.
It's telling. In politics, there are very few tangible things that we can grab onto. It's why we overreact to polling data, because it's an actual number, and we focus a lot on the money they can raise. Everything else is up to grabs. We don't really know what there is. So crowd size is another thing that you can measure. Are you drawing crowds? Is that, there's lots of little things
because
that
that's
you
the
have
whole
to,
idea in politics, is to get as many people as you can
yeah,
on board.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to think about how those
Yeah.
devices have changed.
I mean, when I was a field staffer for Steve Forbes
Yeah.
in 1999, I used to go to every one of my events and then demand them to take tables down, right? Because I was just afraid of empty seats, right? And so then the advanced people would always have a problem with me because we'd always have to roll these chairs back out. But I was always nervous. The number one rule that was ingrained in my head is you better make sure this looks good.
Yeah. And again, the
So-
numbers say that tell the tale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking
Yeah.
about numbers, what kind of numbers you think are we looking at for later on tonight for people paying attention to the big debate?
I think a lot, and I think number one, it's a manageable size debate. This one's 12. Was the last one 10? I lose track, but
Yes.
I think that 12 is manageable. You can have 12 people on the debate stage and have a good debate tonight.
But this is going to be long, though. This is not going to be an hour-long debate. This
I
is
know.
going to be 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
Easy.
but I'll be honest. So my wife comes home and she'll be like, "Why are you watching this?" Right? And I'm kind of like, "Well, it's kind of like my job. I have to,
what I do.
right?" It's also some of the best TV that's on.
Period.
I'll be checking in on if there's a baseball game. I'll check it out. I'll come back. But this will be really good TV tonight. And the other thing the reason why people should watch this debate is because of everything else that's going on. We're in the midst of this impeachment talk and all of that. And so I think the stakes are higher because of what else is going on. And I'm curious to see, how does some of the negative stuff that's come out about Biden, how does he deal with it into this debate? I always remind people that, these debates are opportunities. Even if there's negative stuff out there, you can deal with it in a debate. I think Biden wants a question tonight about his son and all of that, so he can deal with it directly,
Right.
versus it simmering out there. So he can take that on, and then it's up to him to answer it in a way that satisfies.
Would it be something
public.
that if you were like in his advisory staff, you would say, why don't we address this right from the beginning,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can put that behind you and then move on with the debate?
Take it on. I'd want it. And I think anyone who ever shies away from a tough question, you're just then you don't even want to control it. I'd rather control it. And so if I'm Biden, I want that question. I want that to be the first question of the debate. And honestly, it should be. I mean, I think it's legitimate where we have an impeachment about a sitting president who, has interacted with a foreign country and to spur an investigation. Now it's of Biden's son, right? Well, you have a former vice president who, what Trump is pointing out here is that he went to a foreign country, and same country, and said, hey, we're not going to give you this aid unless you stop this, investigation into my son. They're very similar. At their root, they're very
eerily
similar.
Yeah.
And so Biden deserves this question tonight. And it's not a gotcha question. And I think how he handles it will determine how he moves.
So you think as many Republicans are going to be watching this debate as...
Well, let's be honest. Republicans like me watch this stuff, right? I mean, the political nerds of the world.
No, but I was just saying, just get an overview of where the stand is.
I think it's important I think it's important that if you're in the political arena, that you watch all these debates, so that you're knowledgeable, so that you can. I mean, I've learned a lot. I mean, a lot of these people are new. Yeah, Biden's been around forever. But a lot of these other candidates have not been. And the other thing that to tie in the foreign policy stuff that's going on with Syria, Donald Trump is a president that has no political experience. And without having any political experience, he also doesn't have any real foreign policy experience. This stuff's complicated. And so when I look at a candidate like Pete Buttigieg, he is a gifted speaker. Right? And I think the choice that he's providing Democrats is really style over substance. And so with all this serious stuff, Syria is a tough topic. And I will agree that what Trump did isn't the route I would have gone. And it has created a mess. But the question is if you're looking at that debate stage, whether it's Tom Steyer, who's new to the stage,
right,
or Pete Buttigieg, there's a lot of inexperienced people when it comes to foreign policy. And it's not just asking them questions. You have to probe to figure out, can they handle this?
Right.
I mean, I don't think Donald Trump, I don't think we really probed into foreign policy in the last presidential race in terms of, do you really understand it? I want to know, what do you think America's role in the world is? That's the most important question. I mean, just for me, generally, I'm a foreign policy kind of guy. But that's the most important job of a president.
Now, what do you think is going to happen? In the last week or so, one of the polls came out. They had Elizabeth Warren ahead of Joe Biden in the numbers in the numbers game. Well, how do you think that's going to affect tonight?
I think Biden's in trouble, and I think he's sliding. And I still think he has a sizable amount of support. But Elizabeth Warren is a formidable candidate, and I think she's a strong front runner. And the question is with all this going on, Syria, impeachment, you name it, how can you put if you're a challenger, if you're looking up at Elizabeth Warren in the polls, how do you bring her back down? And I also think Bernie's health issues and everything play into here too, because her supporters and his supporters are really kind of a defined voting bloc of the Democrat Party. And so if there's questions there, they're going to be more willing to just, their next option is Elizabeth Warren.
So you think they'll transition from Bernie
because
right over to
we got to
Elizabeth?
remember, these two have never really bickered with each other.
Right.
I mean, it's an easy...
they played nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, if you're a Bernie person, Elizabeth Warren's probably your number two. If you're a Warren supporter, Bernie's probably your number two.
Okay. Because
of the issues that they are strong on, known for, defined about. They are... more to the left side of that party.
So you think the big three will remain the big three after the debate tonight?
I do, but look, there's a lot on Biden. And I feel like we've said this at every debate. There's a lot, he had that clunker for the first debate. And then we said, and he was stronger the second debate, but I still think it seems like all eyes are on Biden. And that, as Jeff has said when he's here, that's not all bad necessarily. I do think that he, with this, thing with Trump, the focus is on him and Trump, which is good in some ways, but he has to deliver, and he has to deliver in these debate settings and show that he's the strongest candidate and he's the guy to go up against Donald Trump and no one else.
He needs a defining moment tonight.
I think he does. I think he needs to be strong and clear and articulate.
All right, we'll see whether or not they will. I believe that starts at 7 o'clock tonight, so it'll be streamed all over the place as well, but it's supposed to last till 10.
Get the popcorn out.
Exactly.
You pull out your big screen there and
See, now when it's time for bed, I just go to bed and pull up YouTube TV and I finish up.
As good as the one
The rest
hanging
of
on
your
the wall.
work. He's working, dear. He's working. It is 8:22. We will be right back.